Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Renegade Radio. Today I'm going to talk about the Tough 20, which is this little thing that I do on the RCW Facebook page. It's a group, you don't have to like it, I'm not a like whore or anything. I'll explain a little about the Tough 20. I read Power Slam magazine, I haven't for a few months now. I do keep meaning to pick up those magazines. I'll probably get the last few before I go on my convention trip in August. Every year they do something called the PS50, Power Slam being a British wrestling magazine, and they rank their top 50 wrestlers from around the world. It covers everything from WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, the Japanese promotions, Real Japan, All Japan, Pro Wrestling, Noah, even Dragon Gate USA, I think they do. Not sure about PWG, maybe. Basically, they rank the top 50 guys from around the world. And yeah, sometimes a WWE guy will win it, sometimes a New Japan guy will win it. It's a worldwide, it's a global thing. I decided to do something similar with RCW, the Tough 20, which is basically ranking my top 20 RCW guys over the course of the year. This I'm going to, over the course of the next 3 casts, recap year 1. So keep in mind that anything from year 2, the current year that I'm running, won't be included in this. This is the recap. It's basically just me going over what I did at the end of year 1, which is on the Facebook page. So, no Shaw, no Savory, Renegade, Rumble or RCW title win. My Hardcore Championship isn't included. Wilf's World Tag Team Championship or Ross's Intercontinental Championships, on any of that stuff isn't included in these stats. It doesn't include any RCWA guys unless they graduate. I'm still debating on what to do regarding RCWA, considering it does have its TV/YouTube presence this year. It went full on TV, YouTube, at the start of year 2. Basically what I did, and this isn't just me saying, oh well he was good, he can go there. I calculated win percentages. Now I tallied up all the wins. This is where I make my own stats and don't rely on the in-game stats. I tally up the wins and then I'll do a percentage. I can't remember what program I used for it. I'll have to look into that. But that really doesn't come into it in terms of the final scores, because I will just give you a quick thing here. Alex Cash, who didn't make the Tough 20, had a 77.7 win percentage. He finished in at last place, number 32. Brent Kitching, who came in at number 30, had a 42.8 win percentage. He had 2 matches less than Cash. And so what it basically goes on is success rate, longevity, significance, character, and future potential. That's 5 categories, marked out of 10 for a possible 50 points. That is what determines your score, not your win-loss, because otherwise guys like me and Wilf would be top all the time. There was 12 that didn't make the Tough 20. Some were close, some weren't. So 32 you had Alex Cash, 31 you had Justin Cash. I'll go by these actually, how it goes. Today I'm going to cover the 12 that didn't make it. In the next cast I'll cover 20 to 11, and then 10 through to number 1 in the third cast. So 32 was Alex Cash. He had 9 matches. He won 7, lost 2, drew none. Held the World Tag Team Championship, had a win percentage of 77.7%. With Brother Justin, debuted on the post-Bloodshed Revolution, defeating Jared and Landon Scott. This was after their debut segment at the start of the show. Brothers defeated Shaw, no Savory and Steinmetz a week later to earn a shot at the World Tag Team titles. Due to the issues between tag champs Tazaris and Dragosan, the title match was moved to June, week 2, where the Cashes won the belts after Tazaris abandoned his partner. Retained against Richard Parrish and Omega in an ODQ match at Hellbound, defeated Rambo Johnson and Jay Cassidy on the first Revolution of July. Alex pulled double duty at Cybermania as fans chose him for the Money in the Bank ladder match, won by Desirous. Later retained the World Tag titles against the Scots with Justin, defeated the Two Dirty Bitches on the August Week 2 Renegade. Lost the tag titles to the Scots at Summerfest, their last match with the company. He had a success rate of 8 out of 10. Decent win-loss ratio, only losing 2 matches. Longevity, he was only there for around 3 months, he gets a 3 out of 10 for that. Significance, 5 out of 10. Immediately made an impact in the tag division, winning the belts within a matter of weeks. Too bad they didn't stick around. They are back in RCW, they came back after Uprising 2, but at this point when I wrote it, they were gone. Character. Has a unique look, different to most, including his brother. Played the role of outsider in many ways, heel well. Character, 8 out of 10. Future potential, 2 out of 10. Enjoying success in DWA, which is now NLW, a return to RCW isn't likely, though not impossible either. As we know, he returned. His score may change. He got a final score of 26 out of 50. In at 31 was his brother Justin. Matches 10, wins 8, losses 2, draws none. Titles held, World Tag Team Championship. Had a win percentage of 80%. Debuted with brother Alex on the post-Bloodshed Revolution, defeating the Scots. A week later they become #1 contenders. It's pretty much the same as Alex's here. Retained titles at Hellbound, defeating the Megastars in an ODQ match. Won the titles off me and Desirous after I abandoned the match. Me and Dragasan, sorry. Unlike his brother, he wasn't selected for the Money in the Bank match at Cybermania, so we did the lion's share of the work and the tag title match later that night against the Scots. Defeated Jared Scott in a singles match on the post-Cybermania Renegade, and teamed with Alex to defeat Two Dirty Bitches on the pre-Summerfest Renegade. Lost a singles match to Jared Scott on the pre-Summerfest Revolution, and with Alex lost the World Tag Team Championships to the Scots in their last match at Summerfest. Success rate, 8 out of 10. Like his brother, only suffered 2 losses, 1 as a team. Longevity, only there for 3 months, gets a 3 out of 10. Significance, 5 out of 10. Won the tag titles 3 weeks after their debut and presented as a top team in the tag division. It's unfortunate that they left. It's fortunate that they came back. But that doesn't count. Character, 8.5 out of 10. Another unique look, smaller than his brother but just as intimidating. Future potential, 2 out of 10. Is successful in DWA, unlikely that we'll see him back in RCW anytime soon. I was wrong. Final score for Alex Cash was a 26.5 out of 50. In at 30, exactly 30, I don't know why I started to say something else. That's probably because I can't count. Brent Kitching at number 30. Matches 7, wins 3, losses 4, draws 0, no titles held. Win percentage 42.8%. See what I mean about that? It's his future potential is higher than the Cash's, but his longevity is lower. I don't count the win percentage. I mean, wins matter, but it's other things that I look at as well. Brent Kitching debuted as Scorpion's manager at Halloween Horror. Made his in-ring debut on the following Revolution, defeating Travis Taylor after learning he'd be teaming with Combat Matt and Scorpion to face the Industry at Fight for Survival. Keep in mind, Scorpion and Kitching were faces while the Industry were heels at this point. Was the only member of his team eliminated in their Fight for Survival victory, their FFS match, for fuck's sake. Was granted a hardcore title match for his efforts in the Fight for Survival match, but lost to Dragasan on the post-FFS Revolution. Lost a triple threat match to Hardcore Howie on the first Revolution of December, and was chokeslammed by Dragasan after. Lost a 6-man Battle Royal won by Disco Dave on the December Week 3 Renegade, put in a good showing at Christmas Carnage in the Hardcore Championship Fatal 4-Way, but was the first eliminated by Hardcore Howie. Defeated Combat Matt, Wong McDonald and Arnie Sharp to become the #1 contender on the final Revolution of the year. His success rate is 4 out of 10. Just below average, but has only wrestled 7 matches. Longevity, 2 out of 10, debuted at the end of October. Significance, 8 out of 10. Kitching name might carry value, but Brent is free of his brother's shadow here. Did well at Fight for Survival and Christmas Carnage, current #1 contender to the Hardcore title, and has put on good matches with Dragosan. Character 6.5 out of 10. Character. Too early to say at this point. At the moment he's just a big brawler who wants the Hardcore title. His familial ties were a good enough reason to take on the industry, but there hasn't been much beyond that. Future potential 8 out of 10. A very gifted big man, should have another great match with Dragosan, but again it's too early to tell. With his brother in UWA there might be a temptation to jump ship. Hopefully he sticks around and develops his character into something more than gifted big man. Final score for Brent Kitching, 28.5 out of 50. Number 29 on the countdown is Rambo Johnson. Rambo Johnson had 23 matches. Won 4, lost 19. No draws, no championships. Win percent of 17.3%. Lost to Dragosan in the first round of the RCW title tournament. In the main event of the first Revolution. Lost an Intercontinental Battle Royal on the January Week 4 Revolution. Didn't compete again until March Week 1, losing an RCW title #1 contender Battle Royal. Lost a Hardcore title Battle Royal on the pre-Uprising Revolution, missed Uprising and lost to Wilf on the following Revolution. Didn't win the 6-man Battle Royal at Anarchy and became the first man to lose to Jay Cassidy on the following Revolution. Called out Cassidy at Bloodshed in the 2-hour brawl. Rambo was bested, won his first match on the post-Bloodshed Revolution, teaming with Travis Taylor to beat Cassidy and Combat Matt. Was beaten by Cassidy again in the Triple Threat match the following week and lost a tables match a week later. Fell to Cassidy in another Triple Threat on the very first Renegade, shook Cassidy's hand after. Formed tag team with Cassidy but lost to the Cash Brothers the next night, with Cassidy lost to the Scots and the Rough Riders, Steinmetz and Sean O'Savory on consecutive Renegade shows. Was absent from Cybermania except for congratulating Wong McDonald and Paul Haynes on their title victories backstage. Scored his first win by defeating the man he teamed with for his first, Travis Taylor, on the first Renegades of August. Didn't compete at Summerfest with Cassidy, lost to Team Abbott in the first round of Tag Team Turmoil. With Cassidy defeated the Megastars in the September Week 1 Renegades but lost to the Scots in the September Week 3 Renegades. Didn't compete at Doomsday and lost a singles match to Hardcore Howie on the following Renegades. With Cassidy defeated the Megastars at Scramble City but lost to Team Abbott on the Renegades following Scramble City. Didn't compete again until November Week 2, teaming with Cassidy to lose to the Two Dirty Bitches on Renegade. Lost to Dragosan a week later on Revolution. Took a coaching job at RCWA and hasn't competed since. Rambo Johnson's success rate is 2 out of 10. Despite match count being one of the lowest, his win-loss ratio is poor, especially considering his size, power and ability. Longevity 8 out of 10. There from day one but has under 25 matches under his belt. Significance 6 out of 10. First guy to lose to future tag partner Jay Cassidy. Performed as a filler team in the tag division. Character 6.5 out of 10. Big, powerful and talented but has shown little beyond that. Didn't have much success as a heel or face. And his future potential 7 out of 10. Hard to say really, has potential to do well but has been floundering. Took a coaching role in RCWA, so that coupled with academy matches might give him more exposure. Will be teaching fitness to the academy recruits, so he should accept help with character and other things when he's not training the others. Final score 29.5 out of 50. Countdown to the RCW Tough 20, number 28. This is a man I expect to see in a higher position in this year's Tough 20. Christian Fox. This excludes his RCWA matches. Like I said, it only covers the main roster. But that was the thing, back then RCWA, it didn't have any real linear stability. It was just when I felt like it, and then when I did year 2 I made it more linear and more solid with a foundation. So Christian Fox's RCW career, he had 11 matches in year 1. Won 4, lost 7. Drew none, held no titles. Obviously that's changed now. Win percentage 36.3. Was so impressive in the RCWA that both he and CW Longley were given the opening match of the September Week 2 Renegade, which Fox won. Attracted the attention of the industry but arrogantly said he'd think about it. Lost a rematch on the next Renegade. Stakes were raised in the post-Doomsday Renegade. He faced Longley not only in the main event but for the RCWA Championship in a ladder match. Lost, but the match was really good. It was. Returned to the academy but was deemed worthy of a spot on the roster as he and Longley main evented the October Week 4 Renegade, Longley winning again. Longley winning again the next night was the overrunning dark match angle. I did this little angle thing that was only in text because it's hard to do stuff like this. Fox and Longley wrestled a dark match but didn't stop when Revolution went live, they carried on wrestling. This time Fox picked up the victory. Talked down to Longley, Ross Lee and Sean O'Savoury later in the show. Defeated Longley on the November Week 2 Renegade and demanded that Ross and O'Savoury recruit him for Fight for Survival. To his chagrin, they'd chosen Longley. Asked to join Steinmetz and Wilf at Fight for Survival, but nearly messed up his chance when he told them he wanted to join the winning team, Ross and O'Savoury. Substituted for Steinmetz against Tyler Harris and lost. Was at first eliminated as his team lost at Fight for Survival, but looked strong. Defeated then Intercontinental Champion Gary Gibb on the December Week 2 Renegade. Fox said if Longley wins the IC title, he owes him first shot. Teamed with Longley a week later to lose to Gibb and Combat Matt. Bear in mind all this stuff was before we added in the BWA canon, so at this point I was thinking of him as just another rookie. Success rate 4 out of 10. On the main roster has picked up some good wins. Academy results aren't counted here. Longevity 3 out of 10. Hasn't been on the roster very long. Renegade's matches were mainly billed as academy matches. Significant 7.5 out of 10. Undoubtedly one of RCW's brightest prospects, hence the elevation to the main roster and work with Wilf, O'Savoury and Steinmetz and Ross. His current and two-time RCWA champion, though Longley's heel turn may have derailed his RCW momentum slightly. Character 8 out of 10. Still young and needs developing more, but he plays the arrogant rookie excellently. Looked down his nose at the industry, Ross Lee and Sean O'Savoury, thinking he's the big shot in town. Now that could be a point of contention, because obviously he's been doing this since BWA since year 1, so a good 10 years. It's it's something that, it's one of those problems with retcons. I didn't retcon his Tough 20 profile, I won't retcon his Tough 20 profile because it relates to his RCW career. He could still be young and he could still need developing. He's been a BWA champion. Basically, the reason I put him in RCWA when I retconned it was because he got injured in BWA and he was in RCWA training and getting himself back in ring shape. So that's why he went from BWA to RCWA instead of BWA to RCW. Because he probably would have gone onto the main roster straight away, but we had to write in an injury thing. He was like out. I put that he was out for a year or something, so that's why he was in the academy. Future potential 9.5 out of 10. Current RCWA champion, so his RCW time may be limited with RCWA's new TV deal. As mentioned above, Longley's heel turn may have derailed Fox's momentum slightly, but if he keeps going the way he is, he'll be fine. Expect big things from Christian Fox. Final score 32 out of 50. Again, that's one that needs needed rewriting, I think. Number 27, Dirty Dino. Matches 15, wins 6, losses 9, no draws. Titles held, World Tag Team Championship. Win percentage 40%. With Rich's Two Bitches debuted at Cybermania, losing to fellow debutants Team Abbott. Lost to Hardcore Howie in a singles match on the following Revolution, and R2B lost a singles match. Lost to Hardcore Howie in a singles match on the following Revolution, and with R2B, lost a tag match to the Cash Brothers 6 days later on Renegade. Didn't compete again until the September Week 3 Revolution, defeating Boshak and Robbie Flash in the final tag team tournament round, earning a tag title shot at Doomsday. With R2B, lost to the Scots in the good tag team match on the pay-per-view, lost a non-title rematch on the following Revolution, and lost a tag title rematch at Scramble City. Lost to the Megastars in the following Renegades and didn't compete again until November Week 2, defeating Rambo Johnson and Jay Cassidy on Renegade. Absent from Fight for Survival, but put on an impressive display in a losing effort against the Scots on the post-FFS Renegade. He and R2B became World Tag number 1 contenders on the next night on Revolution, defeating the Megastars. Lost a singles match to Jared Scott on the December Week 2 Renegades, but defeated Landon Scott a week later. Defeated the Scots to become World Tag Team Champions at Christmas Carnage in another good match, defeated the Megastars in a non-title match on the following Renegades. Success rate 4 out of 10, just over a third in his success rate. As a tag team wrestler, not all the losses and victories were directly on/by him. Longevity 4 out of 10. Debut at Cybermania and has been strong in the tag division, giving it a boost. Significance 8 out of 10. Added a boost to the tag team division, especially with the departures of the Cash Brothers. Always has good matches, finally won the tag titles at the final pay-per-view of the year, should be a good reign. Character 8 out of 10. R2B dances, Dino doesn't. But he still likes to have fun. Dino's character is quite clearly an extension of himself. He enjoys what he's doing, but he knows when to get serious. Brings fun to the situation, like winning the tag titles after Hardcore Howie's injury. Lifted the crowd. Future potential 8.5 out of 10. As mentioned above, the tag title reign could be a good one, especially given the team name and personality. Could bring some added enjoyment to their matches and angles, possibly leading to other teams turning heel in an attempt to add seriousness back to the division. Now this one's interesting. It's also a long one. In at number 26, he didn't make the Tough 20. Wong McDonald. Yes, the Wong McDonald that is my opponent at Cybermania. Talk about a turnaround. Matches 29, wins 5, losses 24, draws 0, titles held Hardcore Championship. Win percentage 17.2. This is why I like doing a little retrospective look, looking back on stuff that I've wrote and stuff that I've predicted. I wrote these. I made these predictions, and some I've been right about, others I've been wrong about, like the Cashes. Then there's Wong McDonald, who I was dead wrong about. Let's check his stats. Lost in the opening round of the RCW title tournament to Tyler Harris and didn't qualify for the Intercontinental title match. On the February Week 3 Revolution, lost to Travis Taylor in the 1+ hour submission match. I will just say now, that was a match that I put on All AI on WWE 12, submission match. It was actually a 2+ hour match. At about near the 3 hour mark, I got sick of it, quit the match and just simulated it, which is when Travis won. Aside from his April Week 1 victory over the debuting Jay Cassidy, didn't compete again until May Week 1, missing Uprising and Anarchy. Lost a 6-man battle royal at Anarchy. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Anarchy's the April show. I wrote this wrong. That would probably be March Week 1. Didn't compete again until April Week 1, missing Uprising, lost a 6-man battle royal at Anarchy. Lost to Boshak. Missed Bloodshed on June Week 2, which would be the May pay-per-view, so yes. On June Week 2 for Revolution, lost a Fatal 4-Way. Missed Hellbound. Lost a triple threat match on the first Renegades, July Week 1, and lost to Paul Haynes on the second Renegades. Lost a Battle Royal the next night on Revolution. Lost another Battle Royal a week later. Received votes for the Money in the Bank match at Cybermania, but not enough, and was placed in the Hardcore Championship Fatal 4-Way. Surprisingly won the title, defeating Combat Matt last, guaranteeing a new champion. Ross Lee was the defending champion. Defeated Ross Lee and Gary Gibb on the August Week 2 Renegades. Lost the Hardcore Championship to Dragosan at Summerfest and lost to Ross Lee on the first Revolution of September. Lost to Dragosan again 6 nights later on Renegade. Losing streak jumped to 3. 8 days later, when he lost to Ross Lee on Revolution. Lost a Hardcore title triple threat to Dragosan at Doomsday after being slammed through a burning table. Didn't win the Hardcore Championship Scramble match at Track Scrambles. Didn't win the fuck off. I don't do outtakes. Didn't win the Hardcore Championship Scramble City match. Oh, bollocks! He didn't win the Championship Scramble match for the Hardcore Championship at Scramble City. That's what I was getting at. Losing streak continued as he lost a gauntlet match to Hardcore Howie on the October Week 3 Revolution. Losing streak ended at 6 when he defeated Jay Cassidy on the October Week 4 Renegades. I've lost focus. Lost to Desirous 1 week later. Lost a Fatal 4-Way on the November Week 2 Revolution. Lost to CW Longley on the December Week 1 Renegade, and lost a triple threat match the next night on Revolution. Got annoyed at Arnie Sharp, who suggested Dragosan was more interested in fighting Howie and Brent Kitching than Wong. Lost to Arnie on the December Week 2 Revolution and shook his hand after. Lost a Battle Royal on the pre-Christmas Carnage Revolution. Didn't win the Hardcore title at Christmas Carnage. Tried to avoid Dragosan but was caught eventually. Lost a Fatal 4-Way on the final Revolution of the year. Success rate 2 out of 10. Basically with the success rate if the results do come into it in some way, I round it out. 17.2 I'd class that as a 2 out of 10. No 1.5, I'd do a 2 out of 10 for that. Success rate 2 out of 10. Not good. Can and should do better. He is. Longevity 9.5 out of 10, there since day one, but there were spells when he was absent for weeks at a time. Again, he's featured heavily on Renegade, The Curse of Wong McDonald. He is featured heavily on Heatwave and Breakout. He has had pay-per-view matches more often, that's what I was getting at. Significance 6.5 out of 10. Fills out the hardcore division. Yes, he was champion once, but reign only lasted a few weeks. Last year he only won the hardcore title because he didn't get enough votes for the Money in the Bank match. This year he's earned his way to the number 1 contender spot. Now this is where it gets fucked up. Character 8 out of 10. Well, he's Scottish with Chinese parents, and on his mum's side he has a Japanese grandfather. That's about it. More needs to be added to his character. Showed some fire in a promo with Arnie Sharp, shame it wasn't elaborated on further. Future potential 7 out of 10. Hard to say, really hard to say. Results haven't been going his way, he hasn't developed his character beyond what's mentioned above. Maybe he should form a tag team or join a faction. He needs to move on from the hardcore title chase. That is wrong. We've developed him more, he's been given more TV time. He has formed a tag team, but he's still in the hardcore title chase, and it doesn't hurt him because the hardcore championship is exclusive to Heatwave. Revolution has the Intercontinental title, Heatwave has the hardcore one. So he is in a good place as the number 1 contender to Heatwave's secondary championship. Final score 33 out of 50. I would predict that Wong will break the top Tough 20 this year. Given recent results, he will might even bust the top 10. I don't know. We'll have to see. Number 25, Jay Cassidy. Matches 27, wins 6, losses 21, draw 0, no titles held. Win percentage 28.5. Debuted out of the academy on the post-uprising Revolution and lost his first 5 matches, including a Battle Royal at Anarchy. This was when the academy was just, when I felt like doing something academy related, I'd do it. Got pep talks from Desirous and won his first match against future tag partner Rambo Johnson on the May Week 1 Revolution. Lost to Travis Taylor a week later, but defeated Combat Matt the following week. Got the better of Rambo Johnson in an unsanctioned brawl at Bloodshed. Lost in a tag match with Combat Matt against Rambo and Travis on the next Revolution. Won a triple threat match the following week. Didn't compete again, missing Hellbound until the inaugural Renegade where Rambo shook his hand. Formed a tag team with Rambo, the next night losing to the Cash Brothers. With Rambo, lost to the Scots on the July Week 2 Renegades, but won a Battle Royal the next night on Revolution. With Rambo, lost to Sean O'Savory and Steinmetz on the July Week 3 Renegades, was chosen by the fans for the Money in the Bank ladder match at Cybermania, but didn't win. Did good though. Didn't compete again until after Summerfest, teaming with Rambo to lose to Team Abbott in a tag team turmoil match on the August Week 3 Revolution. 6 nights later, lost a singles match to Rich's Two Bitches on Renegade. Teamed with Rambo to defeat the Megastars a week later, but lost to Tyler Harris the next night on Revolution. Harris was going to crush his ankle with a chair, but Cassidy was saved by Disco Dave. With Rambo, lost to the Scots on the September Week 3 Renegade. Missed Doomsday. Lost to Arnie Sharp on the first Renegades of October, but teamed with Rambo to defeat the Megastars at Scramble City. Lost to Team Abbott on the following Renegades and lost a singles match to Travis Taylor the week after. Absent from Halloween Horror and lost to Wong McDonald on the October Week 4 Renegade. Lost to Gary Gibb 8 days later at Revolution, with Rambo lost to Two Dirty Bitches 6 nights later on Renegade. Defeated by Dragasan a week later and didn't compete for the rest of the year due to his taking a job at the RCWA. Success rate 3 out of 10. Not brilliant by any means, but he has talent. Longevity 8.5. Debuted after Uprising but hasn't competed since Fight for Survival. Obviously now he's back on the main roster and he still does RCWA. Significance 7 out of 10. Debuted and was popular, especially when he scored his first win over Rambo. Remained popular and was chosen for Money in the Bank at Cybermania. Results haven't been good though, and he was mainly in a filler tag team for the rest of the year. Character 7 out of 10. He's the young buck called up from the academy. Not much else really. To be fair, he hasn't had much chance to develop a character. Should get time in RCWA. Future potential 8 out of 10. Is popular with the fans and the other wrestlers. Still young, so he has plenty of time to grow. Actually volunteered to go to RCWA and better himself. A few months there should give everyone a clearer picture of Cassidy's future. Final score 33.5 out of 50. What I will probably do in year 2 in the second Tough 20, while not counting the results, I feel I may need to at least acknowledge what goes on in the academy for people as well. For example, I've done the academy, I've been there, competed in matches. Cassidy, who was doing double duty, academy and the main roster, he and Rambo joined the Rex Wesley Syndicate, so that would need mentioning. However, I probably wouldn't count the results. Or I might, I'm not sure yet. Well, that's Cassidy, Jay Cassidy, at 25. 24, Arnie Sharp. With Hardcore Howie, debuted at Cybermania defeating the Two Dirty Bitches. Defeated Rich's Two Bitches in a singles match on the following Renegade. Teamed with Howie to defeat the Megastars, Richard Parrish and Omega, at Summerfest. Won the first 3 rounds of Tag Team Turmoil but lost to the Industry, Boshak and Robbie Flash in round 4 on the September Week 2 Revolution. Didn't compete at Doomsday. Defeated Jay Cassidy in a singles match on the October Week 1 Renegade. Absent from Scramble City but teamed with Howie to defeat Two Dirty Bitches on the October Week 2 Renegade. Lost a tag match to the Scott Brothers, Jared and Landon, on the October Week 3 Renegade. Didn't compete at Halloween Horror. With Howie lost a number 1 contenders match to the Megastars in the November Week 1 Revolution. Lost a singles match to Paul Haynes a week later. Didn't compete at Fight for Survival and didn't compete until December Week 2, losing to Dragasan on Renegade. Defeated Wong McDonald the next night on Revolution. Didn't win the Battle Royal 6 nights later on Renegade. Didn't compete at Christmas Carnage but was with Howie when he was sent to the hospital. Wanted revenge on Dragasan on Renegade but lost despite a good effort. Failed to become number 1 contender to the Hardcore title on the final Revolution of the year, losing to Brent Kitching. Success rate 5 out of 10. 50-50 win-loss rate. Has had less matches than Howie though. Longevity 4 out of 10. Debuted at Cybermania and looked strong in the tag team division. Howie's recent singles run slowed that down though. As we know, they're no longer a tag team. No longer on the same brand. Significance 8.5 out of 10. As mentioned above, looked to be the stars of the tag division, but Howie entered a feud with Dragasan over the Hardcore title. Arnie took a step back somewhat, but a ready-made rivalry due to Dragasan injuring his best friend. Obviously that didn't go that way because Howie turned heel when he returned at the Renegade Rumble. There are some little things in here, especially with Disco Dave, where you make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and there were some silly things that Universe would throw at you that I'd have to, I just ran with. Dragasan's heel turn, for example. I wanted us to have a good tag title reign, but I'll get to that later. Character 8 out of 10. Plays an easygoing, fun-loving Chinese party boy. He's actually Polynesian. Arnie's based on a real person, Arnie Sharp. Born in England, Polynesian parents, but, I can't get everything right. Full of charisma and positivity, though Howie's injury has added anger and a need for revenge. We'll see how that works with his happy-go-lucky attitude. Didn't go anywhere. Future potential, 8 out of 10. Still hasn't avenged Howie, so should get a few chances against Dragasan. After that, he'll probably return to the tag team division, maybe even picking up a reign or 2. Just not with Howie. Final score 33.5 out of 10. Okay, sorry about that, I had to leave the room for a second. I paused it, but I'm kind of lost track of where I was. Number 23 is where I was. Rich's 2 bitches. Matches 17, wins 9, losses 8, draws 0. Titles held, World Tag Team Championship. Win percentage 52.9. With Dirty Dino debuted at Cybermania, losing to Team Abbott. Lost a singles match to Warner Sharp on the following Thursday's Renegade. Lost to the Cash Brothers on the August Week 2 Renegades. Didn't compete at Summerfest. Defeated Jay Cassidy on the August Week 4 Renegade, with Dino won the final round of Tag Team Turmoil on the September Week 3 Revolution, but lost the tag title match at Doomsday against the Scots. Lost a non-title rematch on the post-Doomsday Revolution. Defeated Omega in a singles match on the first Renegades of October, but lost a World Tag Team title match at Scramble City. Lost to the Megastars on the post-Scramble City Renegades. Didn't compete at Halloween Horror. Defeated Rambo Johnson and Jay Cassidy in the tag match on the November Week 2 Renegade. Didn't compete at Fight for Survival and lost a tag match to the Scots on the post-FFS Renegades. With Dino won a number 1 contenders match the next night on Revolution, defeating the Megastars. Defeated Landon Scott in a singles match 6 nights later on Renegades and defeated Jared Scott on the pre-Christmas Carnage Revolution. With Dino defeated the Scots at Christmas Carnage to win the World Tag Team Championships. Defeated the Megastars in the final Renegades of the year. Success rate 5 out of 10. Average results, has competed more than Dino, thrown a tag title reign and it's not bad. Longevity 4 out of 10. Debuted at Cybermania, July, so roughly half a year in RCW. Significance 8 out of 10. Didn't exactly start with a bang, but the team is popular and consistent. Took a while, but R2B and Dino stand atop the tag team mountain. Character 8.5 out of 10. Rumour has it that he is nothing like this in real life. He's not. Rich's 2 bitches is named based on a guy I used to work with, and he is nothing like this. So to play a dancing, fun-loving character so convincingly is a major plus to the man behind the hat and shades. Future potential 8.5 out of 10. Currently a tag team champion, so he'll be in the thick of things for a while. As stated with Dino, the tag division could do with some heel teams, but not the 2 dirty bitches. They should stay face for now. Final score 34 out of 50. Brings us to 22. 2 more people. 22 is Gary Gibb, and this is an example of a universe throwing a curveball. Although, to be fair, it wasn't a scramble match. Matches 18. Wins 9, losses 9, draws 10. Titles held, the Intercontinental Championship. Win percentage 50. Debuted on the August Week 1 Revolution, defeating Boshak. After the match, Desirus, the face, good guy, went to the ring for retribution against Boshak, the heel. But Gibb stopped him. Confusing debut. Explained later that Gibb is honourable and wouldn't allow Desirus to attack a weakened Boshak. Was supposed to face Desirus on the August Week 2 Renegades, but Desirus was attacked. Lost a triple threat instead. Was confronted by Desirus the next night on Revolution, but didn't help him as he was attacked by the Industry. Didn't compete at Summerfest and finally faced Desirus on the following Renegade. Desirus was attacked by the Industry before and after the match. Lost to Combat Matt on the September Week 1 Renegades, became number 1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship the next night on Revolution after winning a triple threat match. Was accused of joining the Industry by Desirus a week later on Revolution. During the promo, Gibbs' intelligence was brought into question. The next week he was offered a place in the Industry and given 1 week to respond. Lost to Paul Haynes at Doomsday. Refused to join the Industry on the post-Doomsday Revolution, resulting in him being beaten down by Boshak, Robbie Flash and Travis Taylor. Challenged the Industry to a handicap match the next week but lost. Was rescued afterwards by Combat Matt and Scorpion. Won the Intercontinental Championship with 30 seconds to spare at Scramble City. With Combat Matt and Scorpion lost to the Industry after being distracted by Haynes on the post-Scramble Revolution. Teamed with Haynes 1 week later but lost to the Scots when Haynes abandoned him, but returned wanting the glory. Gibb then abandoned Haynes. Retained the Intercontinental Championship against Haynes at Halloween Horror, defeated Jay Cassidy on the November Week 1 Revolution, and teamed with Desirus to defeat Haynes and Tyler Harris on the Fight for Survival Go Home Revolution. Defeated Haynes in a submission match at Fight for Survival despite suffering a concussion. Took a couple weeks off and returned on the December Week 2 Renegades, losing to Christian Fox. Teamed with Combat Matt to defeat Fox and CW Longley the next night on Revolution. On the final Revolution before Christmas Carnage, lost to Dragasan and was attacked by Longley afterwards. Lost the Intercontinental Championship to Longley in a 2 out of 3 falls match by a score of 1-2. Success rate 5 out of 10. Average win-loss ratio, but the wins were important. Longevity 4 out of 10. Debuted in August after finishing his dates in Mexico. Significance 8.5 out of 10. Has been involved in some good rivalries. Feud with Desirous and the industry was interesting as he was the solid face against the increasingly heelish Paul Haynes. Is very popular and adds something different to the Intercontinental division. Character 8 out of 10. The character was very proud and very honourable, although confusing at times. Seems to have dropped the Seems to have dropped the questionable intelligence aspect. Is good on the mic and can back it up in the ring. Lost his mask before joining RCW and hasn't used his joining as a cheap way to bring it back. Future potential 8.5 out of 10. Should be an upper mid-card attraction for a while, but has the ability to be a main eventer. However, the top spots seem to be taken and overcrowding isn't good. Expect to see him challenge for the Intercontinental Championship more, or maybe form a tag team with someone. Back in the days of Podcast 1 or Renegade Radio 1, Gary Gibb was a former Fantasy Island champion. I pushed him big time. He was a main eventer and he was the face of the brand for a while. What I would like to do is try and recreate that with some people, like Gary Gibb maybe. There are other things that I would like to do based off of the WWE storylines that I did in the past. Maybe there was unfinished business with some of the characters, but maybe I might finish that off in RCW and things. But yeah, Gibb he's been a main eventer in my previous iterations of wrestling federations, so it's not against reason that he would be RCW champion. He could be one day. And the final one, number 21. He just misses out. And I dare say the reason he just missed out is because of longevity. It's CW Longley, who at the time was the Intercontinental Champion. Excluding RCWA, matches 14, wins 9, losses 5, draws 0. Titles held, Intercontinental Championship. Win percentage 64.2. Had an impressive run in RCWA, leading to a main roster trial of sorts on Renegade. Lost to Christian Fox in September Week 2, but won the rematch a week later. Defeated Fox in a ladder match for the RCWA Championship on the September Week 4 Renegades, then returned to the Academy. Returned to Renegade in October Week 4, defeating Christian Fox again. Lost to Fox the next night on Revolution. In the dark match over on Angle? Lost to Fox the next night on Revolution in the dark match over on Angle. Was befriended by Sean O'Savory and Ross Lee later that night. Lost to Christian Fox on the November Week 2 Renegade, but was selected as Ross and O'Savory's partner for Fight for Survival on Revolution the next night. Defeated Steinmetz in the Falls Count Anywhere match on the November Week 3 Renegade, but lost to Wilf the next night on Revolution. Scored the final pin over Wilf in the FFS elimination match at the pay-per-view. Attacked Ross Lee afterwards. Smart/cowardly used his FFS bonus to sidestep Ross Lee's bonus, which would have been a match with Longley. Basically, the three, Ross Lee, Sean O'Savory and CW Longley, as winners, were given a winner's bonus for winning the elimination match. Ross Lee wanted his bonus to be a revenge match against Longley. Instead, Longley used his bonus to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Defeated and injured Paul Haynes on the November Week 4 Revolution. Defeated Wong McDonald on the December Week 1 Renegades. Teamed with Fox but lost to Gary Gibb and Combat Matt on the December Week 3 Renegades. Teamed with Tyler Harris the next night on Revolution to defeat Combat Matt and Desirous. Defeated Gibb to win the Intercontinental Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match with a 2-1 score. Success rate 6 out of 10. Traded wins with Christian Fox and scored impressive victories over established stars. Longevity, 3 out of 10. Debuted in early September, made his time count. Significance, 8.5 out of 10. Renegade's matches were billed as academy matches early on. The dark match overrun angle was impressive. Earned his spot in the FFS match due to his hard work in both RCW and RCWA. Nobody can complain. Heel turn was a shocker given his popularity, yet he's pulling it off. Finishes the year as Intercontinental Champion, only out of the Tough 20 by half a point. Character, 8 out of 10. Started off as a rookie babyface who could deliver. Has yet to explain the meaning of the all about the yes. Former teacher has shown cunning as a heel, using his 5 for survival bonus to sidestep the vengeful Ross Lee. Used this cunning side to injure Paul Haynes, using an exposed turnbuckle to injure the back. A dangerous move that can't get him disqualified. Future potential, 9 out of 10. Has RCWA commitments until March, but will feature on the main roster. As Intercontinental Champion, he has feuds with Paul Haynes, Gary Gibb and Ross Lee ready and waiting. Expect him to remain in the IC title picture, using his deception and intelligence to sneak out victory. Final score, 34.5 out of 50. Remember what I said about Universe throwing curveballs? There's kind of one here with Longley. There was absolutely no intention on me making him a heel anytime soon. Universe did that. Universe turned him heel. And it was something that I ran with, and it was something that it didn't take me long to figure out what to do. Put the Intercontinental belt on him. Because I didn't know what I was going to do with him at Uprising until Fight for Survival. I actually wasn't really sure what I was doing with Gibb and Haynes. They didn't perform at Uprising. But the plan was, I think, to have Paul Haynes defend the Intercontinental Championship as a heel against Ross Lee. Looking back now, the CW Longley heel turn might have been the best thing that happened, not only to him, but also Paul Haynes. It kept Haynes off the card, and it gave him me the idea to do the whole post-Uprising backlash, so to speak. I fully expect Longley to be in the top 20, Tough 20, at the end of year 2. Unlike Wong McDonald, I didn't expect that. I wasn't seeing Wong as, as big as I got him to be. And again, a lot of that is down to the whole Longley Ross thing. So, Universe threw a curveball, but it's improved, it's put Longley up there, it's got the rivalry with Ross and the partnership with Fox, and it's helped Paul Haynes, because if he hadn't missed Uprising, then we might not have the whole what happened after the fallout from that. Wong McDonald wouldn't have sided with Paul Haynes, and it was a surprise. I didn't intend for it to happen, but it just did, and it worked out for the better. I'm glad it did. Incidentally, the removal of the turnbuckle was one of Longley's trademark things while I was running it on WWE 12. He'd do it whenever he could. I'd make him do it whenever I could, more likely. On 13, it didn't really work out that way, because there was that bug in the created arenas where if you removed the turnbuckle, it would remove a different turnbuckle. Yet the turnbuckle that you had removed, while remaining covered visually, would still have the effect of the turnbuckle pad being removed. Needless to say, I dropped that angle. Could always bring it back on 14, though it works better on 14. Anyway, that wraps it up for 32 to 21, the guys that didn't make the Tough 20. Some, as you can tell, weren't even close. Others, like Longley, just missed out by half a point. There are ones that I expect to be in the Tough 20 this year, sorry. There are ones that I didn't expect to be in the Tough 20 this year. There are ones that left the company and then came back due to, John, the NLW runner, having trouble with his game and stuff, meant he couldn't do it properly, and it gave me the chance to reuse the caches and bring them back. So, the next cast will be pretty much more of the same, but with only 10. It will be 20 to 11, and you shall hear me next time.